hunting,
fishing,
cooking,
camping,
conservation,
travel,
gardening,
photography, family.
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 This is the Outdoor Rules Podcast. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. Mike here. I'm here as promised with Matt. Say hi, Matt.
Hello.
And Caitlin.
Hi.
So I thought we'd kind of do a couple of things. If you've been following along, the last 4 episodes have all been about Norway. So we're done with the Norway series. Hopefully folks enjoyed it, but if you didn't, it's over. So there you go. I wanted to do a couple of things today. I teased in the last episode that we'd kind of do a hunting season preview, and we're definitely going to do some of that. But also, I guess a little bit of fishing season wrap-up stuff. GT's in Alaska. He's actually probably on his way home now, right, Caitlin?
Yeah, tonight at least.
Yeah, so hopefully sometime in the next couple of weeks we'll get a chance to sit down and talk to GT. He was on the Alagnak River, and I know they had some tough weather, but they definitely also caught some fish, right?
Yep.
Saw some pictures of cohos and Dolly Varden and big rainbows. So, but I thought, too, Matt, you've got a trip right around the corner now, right?
You know, I leave in 3 days for Canada for about a week.
Yeah, and
a
that's
little more than a week.
That's the Canada trip that you and Bob Bridges talked about when he was on a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, he's been doing that trip for, I don't know, 20 years plus. And every once in a while, I happen to make it. This year will be the second. I went last year. I'd been there. It had been a break between years. But I'm going to go this year. So 2 years in a row for me now.
And what's the deal with that trip? So you, obviously, well, it's not obvious to anybody. You drive up there, right?
Yeah, it's about 8 or 9 hours, you know, depending on traffic, depending on how the border crossing goes, depending on if a trailer tire goes flat. That happened in the pouring down rain the other year. Actually, the trailer tire itself didn't go flat. The caliper came off of the brake caliper came off and punched a hole through the inside of the rim. That was a whole different.
Oh man. It's really hard to tell, like, if more bad stuff happens when the boat's on the trailer or when the boat's in the water.
I mean, I think it's, there's an equal chance for either.
Yeah. We were just talking before the episode started that we really need to do at least one boating mishap story. I mean, we did a little bit of that in unscheduled landings with our big Fort Peck, Montana problem boating story, but there's so many stories about boating mishaps, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could fill an episode easily.
Right. We could fill a whole season of Outdoor Rules with probably just with Dave Arnold about his boating mishaps.
Well, yeah, or at least boat ramp occurrences, if nothing else.
Anyway, so you're in Ontario where you're going in Canada, right?
Going to White Lake, Ontario. I would say it's roughly an hour and a half to 2 hours west of Ottawa. We drive up to fairly close to Ottawa. It's all interstate. It is kind of nice in that regard from here that we get on 81 and then run up into Canada. And I don't know the route numbers up there, but you essentially take interstate essentially from here at home almost the entire way there. The last maybe half an hour, 45 minutes is, more backwards to get to the lake, but it's I forget if it's 450 or 500 miles, and you can do it in 8 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty quick driving, especially towing a boat.
Right.
And so you'll be up there for the week, and then mostly bass fishing, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're fishing a small, very small tournament for bass. We do catch both species, the largemouth and smallmouth, and then they're all our pike and walleyes and perch in the lake, and we do catch them as, you know, as a bycatch sometimes. We're not typically targeting those species, but we do catch them.
Bob would never sink so low as to target something other than bass, would he?
Well, especially no.
Especially not when there's a tournament going on.
No. I mean, the tournament's 4 days. We'll be there. I'll be there 8 days, I guess. Bob will be there 10, I think, 9 or 10. We're not. I'm coming home a little early.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he won't target anything but bass.
And what's a little bit unusual about that is you kind of normally by the fall you kind of stop targeting bass at home, right?
Yeah, I mean, till fall gets here, I just get into hunting mode and I don't fish as much as I probably should. It's really a good time of year to bass fish. I just spend more of that time in a tree stand.
Right. But this is kind of when you do go to Canada, it's kind of your last hurrah for the year for bass fishing.
Yeah, except last year I did go with Hunter in October, the beginning of October, which it was deer season. I could have been archery hunting and fished a tournament upstate, up at Mansfield area, which I would have done this year again, except they're not having it. So we're obviously not. Yeah, they decide not to do that tournament. The local bass club up there did something else summer in New York instead.
So you mentioned hunting. I mean, that's kind of what's really on our minds here for sure. What's going on, Caitlin?
Well, got a pretty good elk tag again this year.
pretty good is a wild understatement, I think.
Yeah, I went to. It's on the Caldera again. It's National Park Service. One of, I learned today, I think 42 Park Service units that actually allow some form of hunting. And yeah, I was in line with everybody waiting to check in, and there are some people talking about, oh man, this is a once in a lifetime tag. You're lucky to draw it even once. And
which
somebody
is true.
said, oh, I know this guy that he drew it twice. And so of course I stood there and I didn't say anything.
Why didn't you say it, Caleb? Why?
I just didn't want to draw the attention to myself. I thought somebody might slash my tires, honestly, if they knew that I drew it 2 years in a row, especially. So,
I wish instead of drawing an elk tag, Caitlin, you would have just bought lottery tickets.
Yeah, that probably would have been smarter.
Yeah. So I don't think we've really ever explained the draw system here in New Mexico on the podcast, have we?
I think we have vaguely, very basically.
Well, so run through that again. Just like, what do we mean when we say drawing an elk tag?
Well, there's no over-the-counter elk tags in New Mexico.
So you can't walk into a store. You can't walk into a sporting goods store and buy an elk tag.
And hunt on public land.
Right.
Yes. There's a whole private land elk tag system where private landowners, some of them may get tags they can sell, and you can buy them that way. But we won't get into that. So the lottery system, you basically get 3 code choices, and a code is going to tell you a unit and a weapon type and a set of dates. And I don't know how many total choices you have in New Mexico in any given year.
Probably a couple hundred.
Couple hundred.
Yeah.
This one's 219. But yeah, so you get 3 choices, and this was my first choice in both years, and I drew it.
Yeah, and so we call it drawing an elk tag and the draw because it's literally a lottery where they're basically, it's computerized, but they're picking your name out of a hat. And New Mexico works a little bit differently than other states, right? You mentioned 3 choices. The way it works here is for elk, they pick your name and then they look at your choices, and your highest choice that's available, that's the tag that you get.
If there's tags available in that hunt, yes.
Right.
Yep. If that hunt was full already, no tags left, then it would look at your second choice and decide if there were tags available in that hunt code, and then the third. And so if you're somebody that puts in for 3 hard to draw rifle hunts every year, then you're unlikely to get an elk tag most years.
Unless you're Caitlin.
Yeah.
So like when we are looking every year, we have to apply for tags in March, by mid-March generally.
Mm-hmm.
And then the drawing happens in mid-April, more or less, right?
Yep.
And so when we're looking at what tags to apply for, one of the things that we look at is how many tags are there and how many people applied last year.
Yeah.
That's like the simplest way to say it.
Yep. Yeah, that information gets published and anybody can tinker with it to try and figure out where their odds are going to be best.
Right. And so obviously the better the hunt or the more desirable the hunt, the harder it is to draw because the more people apply for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you recall this hunt that you drew? So you drew it last year. There's 2 different archery seasons in New Mexico, early and late, or first and second, depending on who you're talking to. The first hunt is the 1st to the 14th of September. The second hunt is the 15th to the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
So the first hunt's a little bit longer.
Yep.
The second hunt is usually a little bit more desirable because in a lot of places anyway, the rut activity is a little better, right?
Yeah, it's consistently in the peak of the rut.
Right.
Or near it.
So the hunt you drew is the first hunt.
Yep.
And today is the last day of August.
Correct. Again?
Which means tomorrow's the first day of the hunt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the odds for drawing this hunt, I think, are about 2%.
That's what I had in my head, too.
So
definitely under 5, but I think it's more like 2% plus or minus.
Right. So what are the odds? What's the math of drawing the hunt twice in a row? It's 2% of 2%, right? How's this probability work?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh man, my stats professors would be so disappointed in me.
Yeah.
They're not the only ones.
Oh. I thought maybe you were going to say they're not listening. Don't worry.
Well, that too.
Hang on, I'm looking this up. Yeah. So your odds of drawing this twice in a row are 0.04%.
Mm-hmm.
That's not very good odds.
To Matt's point, I wish I could have translated that luck to, a lottery ticket or something, but
yeah, well,
like a Powerball kind of lottery.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, all you got is 2 great elk tags back to back.
Right.
So.
Not complaining.
No. And since you've drawn the tag, what's the preparation been like? What are you doing?
Well, I got a new bow.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
Yep.
Spent more money on a bow than I would like to.
It is. I mean, Matt, I know you know this, but have you priced new bows lately?
Well, I mean, my bow's only 3 or 4 years old.
I feel like even in that amount of time, it is just crazy how much bows have gone up.
I think till I had mine all put together, I had about $2,000 in it.
Yeah.
Without arrows and broadheads.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it is very easy to walk into a bow shop and spend way more money than I have ever spent on a rifle and a scope.
Yeah, which is insane because they don't hold their value at all.
Right. Yeah, because buying a bow is about like buying a car, walk
or
out.
a computer.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. You walk out with it even that year. It's, at the end of that season, it's going to be worth half of what you bought it for. And any longer than that, they really just go down. But it's an awesome bow. It's a Hoyt. It's a Hoyt, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the big thing with you, like part of what led to buying the new bow is that you were shooting, and we joked about it last year on the episode about your elk hunt. Jeremy and I were joking about how we were going to run it over in the driveway, your old bow. But I mean, it was a bow you had for a dozen years that was bought as like a beginning, really adjustable setup. Mm-hmm. And you're drawing 60 pounds.
Yep.
And I mean, it's incredible how much more performance you get out of the new bow.
Yeah. Got to go in the right place, though.
What do you mean?
Well, I just mean like whether it's the old bow or the new bow, if it goes in the right place, it wouldn't matter.
Oh, you mean you got to hit the elk?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to make a good shot.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
but it has been fun. So.
Yeah. It's fun to watch you shoot it.
Yeah.
I feel like your confidence is so much better now than it was last year.
Yeah. Which is funny because I really practiced a lot last year. I don't know. I think I practiced almost as much, similar amount as I have this year. I think I just, through that cumulative, repetition, probably have just figured some things out. With anchor points and thought process and visualizing the target and all that.
And, I think you're shooting better, but I think that the bow helps.
Yeah.
I mean, you get more forgiveness in trajectory. Your arrows are going faster. So when you miss high or low, or when you're not perfect where you release the arrow high or low, there's more forgiveness in that because the arc is shallower.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's just a more forgiving bow overall.
Sure. Because
that old bow was smaller, and, our friend Mike McClellan says kind of like a mousetrap, kind of like a snappy little mousetrap. And this is like a slightly bigger, easier to shoot, more forgiving bow.
Yep. I've been amazed by the, when I'm all the way back, how that feels.
Yeah. Right.
Not quite as hard to hold back. Another thing, I think, having gone through the hunting experience last year that informed my practice this year is I've worked a lot more on drawing sitting and drawing kneeling and drawing from behind a juniper because we have a few of those in our backyard, and stepping out. And so, I don't know, a little bit more realistic actual hunting scenario.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff I played through, which I didn't really do much of that last year.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it just seems like you're so much more confident in your shooting and in yourself. And, I think that's great. Not that you were shooting poorly last year, but I think some of it is a couple years in a row of a lot of practice and a little bit better equipment. I think you're to the point, and that was why I wanted you to buy a new bow. I think that you were to the point where the equipment was a factor. I mean, I think a lot of people go out and buy, the whatever it is, fill in the blank, the fastest rifle, the most expensive bow, but their skill level hasn't caught up that it really makes that much of a difference. I mean, it would be like, Matt, me going and buying a super expensive set of golf clubs, right?
Yeah, you probably play just well with a croquet mallet.
Exactly. No, I mean, really, I could go
get your point. Yep.
I could go take a set of golf clubs from the 70s, and it's the most expensive modern golf clubs I can buy, and it probably wouldn't save me, 3 shots in a round.
Yeah, that's why you buy your kids, when they're really little, cheap soccer shoes, and
right.
Whatever sport. As they get older, you invest a little more in their equipment.
Right, because you come to a skill level where the equipment does actually matter.
Yeah.
And I think you had gotten there, and I think it's good to have a better bow.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm still hunting with it in 15, 20 years.
Oh my God.
60 years old.
She's going to need a new bow before 15 or 20 years.
Yeah, I know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I have buddies that buy a new bow every season now. I think that's a little insane.
It seems kind of extreme.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah, you have the money for it.
I guess so. I mean, I don't, changing bows that much too, though. I mean, there is something about being comfortable with the setup, right? Like if you have a bow that you really like and you really shoot well, I mean, chances are next year's bow isn't going to be that much better in performance than this year's bow. Those are pretty incremental. So I feel like, 4, 5, 6 years is kind of the right amount of time, for me anyway, to where things have advanced enough that it makes sense to get something different. But you also have to have a tag. I don't plan to do any archery hunting this year, so I haven't been shooting. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But it has been fun watching you shoot, and I am very much looking forward to getting in the elk woods with you.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited that Hunter's going to get to come with us too.
Yeah.
Assuming we don't get one on the very first day.
Well, I think that's a safe assumption. Matt, do you think it's a safe assumption that it's very unlikely that we won't get an elk if we take Emmett with us?
I guess it depends. How good is he at calling?
Well, you have some sense of how good he is at being quiet, right?
Well, yeah, but elk are loud when they're rutting. So I mean, if you can get like an elk, you'll do fine. But otherwise, probably not.
I would say he's not very good at calling.
Oh,
yeah.
Then I would think he'll be a hindrance, not a help.
Right. No, I mean, I don't know, Caitlin. Talk about that. What are we going to do tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow's day one. It's a 2-week hunt. 2 weeks is kind of a long time to be taking off of work and having, my parents or whoever watch the kids. It's my parents again this year doing it. So we thought giving it a go for 1 week would be better. And the second week is probably the best time to be out there anyways. So our plan is to mainly focus our efforts the second week of the hunt. But because tomorrow is the first day and it's Labor Day and we have the day off, we're going to get out there anyways since I have the tag.
Yeah.
And both boys a few weeks back told me that they wanted to go elk hunting. And it wasn't like they said that and I said, okay, I kind of pushed back on them like, well, it's going to be a lot of hiking and it'll probably be more of a grown-up thing. I don't know if you guys want to go. And Emmett has never said that.
Yeah.
He's never expressed interest in being part of hunting. But then he, continued. He's like, no, I want to go. I said, well, maybe Robert, I know Robert, you could do it. Maybe you'll go. And he didn't like that at all. So we've got Hunter slated to come down next week anyways. I thought, it would kind of be fun to have the time out there the second week and have Hunter there. And why not just go have fun the first day and not worry about not get too serious with it.
I think it's a good idea. Get both the boys out into the woods. My expectations are low about how far we'll get from the truck and how serious we'll ever get about the hunting. How long we'll last. But that's okay. I mean, I think that's the big thing about taking kids in the woods is as long as you have managed expectations about what's really going to happen.
Yeah. I had the tag last year, so obviously we didn't take Emmett out last year. I mean, he was younger too, so that was a factor.
Yeah.
But just overall, I feel a little bit less pressure going into this hunt.
Yeah. Well, if we get something going, if we get one bugling back at us, maybe Emmett and I can drop back and he can beat on a tree with a stick or something to sound like antlers.
Yep.
Sound like elk fighting or rubbing, and I'll do a little calling, and we'll see if you guys can get one close.
That'd be cool.
But I'm really looking forward to going out with Hunter. Matt, Hunter's never elk hunted before, right?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. So this will be. I feel a little bit like the very first elk hunt I ever went on, where we were. I think it might have been the first elk hunt. Definitely the first one hunting bulls was in Gardner, Montana. There used to be a late season hunt there that was like one of the best hunts in the country. And I ended up tagging along with some guys on one of those hunts, and it was amazing. And we got a really nice one the first day. But it didn't ruin me. I mean, it definitely drove my passion for elk hunting. But I feel like it'll be a little bit the same taking Hunter into this situation. Like,
Yep.
good and bad, because I guess, if he goes out on this and he doesn't like it,
Yeah.
he'll know that elk hunting's not for him.
Yep.
So I don't think that'll happen to you, Matt.
I have a hard time believing that'll be the case.
Yeah.
I really wish Caitlin would have told the people in line today that she was going to take her 4-year-old with her for this once in a lifetime tag.
Well, I mean, we aren't gonna go out like very first thing, So we're not going to be part of the initial race to the woods that there inevitably is going to be at a couple of the hotter spots. We'll roll in there later in the day, and so at least we won't be, getting in front of people that in their spot that they could have been taking advantage of. We'll kind of just see where we can fit in later in the day.
Yeah, Matt, she could have told him, I'm going to take my 4-year-old. I draw this every year.
That's right.
I'm bored of hunting the Caldera.
Need to make it harder and longer.
And I don't know, real quick on the Caldera, you mentioned it's a Park Service unit. It's got a really complicated history. When we first moved here, it was not a Park Service unit. It had been privately held, and then it was held by a trust for public accessibility, and then I don't know what it is now, 7 or 8 years ago, the Park Service took over. Maybe it's longer. But it is a really cool place, and like Yellowstone, it's a caldera volcano. It's an old caldera volcano. And I know we talked about this way back when, but which kind of means that it's kind of up on top of the mountains, but then there's kind of a big crater, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look at satellite imagery, you can see it.
Right. There's a huge open valle or big valley. It's called the Valles Caldera. And you can't actually hunt out in that big area where all the elk viewing happens. You can hunt.
The Valle Grande.
Yeah, the Valle Grande.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of they call it the Yellowstone of the South. There's some geothermal features, not nearly to the extent that is in Yellowstone, and there's a lot of cool wildlife.
Yep.
So it really is a pretty spectacular place, and it is an amazing place to elk hunt for sure.
Yeah.
And the hunting itself, what do you think our plan will be this year? Like, not where we're going, because we don't want to give any of Jeremy Romero's secret spots away.
Yeah, I mean, the first day is just going to be a roll of the dice with where the other trucks are and somewhere easy to walk. But when we get more serious the second week, we'll probably hunt around some of our places we were last year. And I think good reason to do that is we just got to understand how the elk move there in particular. There's elk all over that place, and I don't think you could do wrong with any decision for where you hunt. But having spent a lot of time in that locale, and understanding how the elk are moving through there in the morning and evening, I think will give us an advantage.
So that basically means we'll backpack hunt. We'll pack everything in on our backs, and then spend all time, day and night. I mean, you're kind of planning to be up there potentially for 8 or 9 days, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Might have to resupply at some point during that. Might have to hike out. But yeah, so it's pretty potentially intense hunting situation.
Yeah.
But a lot of fun and really worth it. What are you feeling like going into this hunt is your, I don't want to say expectation about an elk that you would take, but what's your goal maybe in terms of the elk that you would be happy taking?
On my bucket list was to get like a really nice mature bull with a bow, like on my long-term these are the accomplishments.
Lifetime hunting accomplishments.
Yeah. And, Pope and Young score on the bull I got last year isn't outstanding by any means, but I guess I checked that off the list, I felt like.
Yeah, it's so fun. You're so Caitlin about this. The Pope and Young score on your bull from last year wasn't outstanding, is what you just said.
Yeah.
But it qualifies you to be entered in the Pope and Young record book.
Yeah. It's a beautiful bull that I'm happy with.
And you registered it.
Yeah.
Why did you register it?
Because I just, it makes me happy to think about potentially having like great grandkids running around and telling people that their great grandma is in Pope and Young.
So for anybody that doesn't know, there's a record keeping organization, a couple organizations for big game animals, and they have ways that they score the antlers and it comes out to a number, and those numbers don't really mean that much except that there's a minimum, and if you get an elk over the minimum, you can essentially submit the paperwork. You have to get it officially scored by a registered scorer, and then you can take that score sheet and submit it, and they will enter your name in the all-time record book.
Yep.
So that's what you did last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a beautiful bull that you got last year. It's
100%.
It's a big bull. Everybody that looks at it is like, wow, that's a really nice bull.
Yes.
So what's
So I guess
the thought this year?
I feel less pressure. I feel like I can be pickier. And that's not me at all on any other hunting scenario. Like I'm definitely more of a meat hunter, and happy to walk home with a cow elk or a spike. So that's 90% of the time not me. But in this scenario, I think I'm going to hold out for something bigger because it's there.
And so are you saying that if we see a bull and you're like, that is definitely bigger than the one I got last year, that's the bar?
And it's a good shot opportunity.
Well, yeah. I just mean you're not going to be... You're saying that if you're confident...
If I have something broadside at 20 yards away that's not even looking for me, and I'm confident it's better than the one from last year, yeah, I'm going to shoot it. Okay.
You're not saying like you're going for giant only.
No.
Yeah. Well, I bet you if you spend that much time hunting that you'll get that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we just got to climb a couple thousand feet up to camp and then climb around the mountains for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Matt, what's you're kind of starting to get ready for archery season yourself too, right?
Yeah. I work on tree stands and checking cameras now, and I haven't really found. I have a lot of deer on camera. I would say that there's a lot of nice buck on camera, nothing that I'm like overly excited about at this point, but that's typical for us here. We often don't really see our nicest bucks until the rut gets here. There's so much ag around us that, the deer, they live in cornfields. They don't necessarily have to use the woods for bedding this time of year. So they're not even always on property right now.
Yeah. So, I don't know, run us through that a little bit. It's like we said, it's right now as we're recording this, it's the last day of October.
August.
Oh, God. I got too many dates in my head. Thank you. It's the last day of August. And this podcast, in all likelihood, will come out August 2nd. Oh, I did it again. Podcast will come out September 2nd. So, Matt, when does archery season start in Pennsylvania?
This year it starts, I think, October 4th. I think that's the first Saturday of October.
So you're
the way the dates work here, it really all works backwards from Thanksgiving. That's how they decide when things open.
I got
As stupid as that sounds.
Well, you got to set the season date sometime, so I guess makes some sense.
That's Thanksgiving sets everything because the Saturday after Thanksgiving, deer rifle opener. So they work everything backwards from that to decide when archery opens.
So usually that's the first Saturday of October.
Yeah. Some years it's the last Saturday in September, but most years it's the first Saturday in October. And that season is all but 7 weeks now.
So you're a month out from hunting, more or less,
a
little more, 5 weeks or something.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time of year when you're kind of usually doing what?
Well, tree stand prep, scouting. Although this year with it being all corn on the tillable ground, scouting's pretty tough because you can't really see anything. So then you're using your cameras more for your scouting. Like if they had beans planted, I may go sit at a distance and just watch the field at night where I'm not affecting anything, but I can't do that with corn. So
right. And how long have you had cameras out for?
Well, I actually never took them down.
Oh.
So so our season ended, mid to late January. At that point I moved them because I actually moved my cameras in January to where I wanted them for scouting for the fall this year. And then, put fresh batteries in them, new cards. And then I didn't check them for 4 or 5 months. No real reason to go over there. I finally did go at the beginning of August, essentially. I went for the first time, checked cameras, put batteries in cameras again, did move a camera or two around, and now I checked them, I don't know, it's like 3 to 4 weeks. I checked them again. So I'll check them a little more as the season gets closer, but I also there's ones that I don't go to. I'll wait until the season starts and I'll hunt there when the wind's right and I'll check them then.
You don't go to cut because they're closer to bedding areas and you don't want to blow deer out?
Yeah, that's right. It's getting to the time of year now where I want to be done with tree stand prep. Give the deer, a month or a couple of weeks where I'm not over there screwing around to do anything. And, and then we'll start hunting and I'll hunt stands as the wind allows me to.
And then, like you said, you'll check cameras when you're going to hunt those stands.
Most cameras are fairly close to or right at a stand. I don't have any cell cameras out right now. We did have them in the past over there. They aren't working at the moment, so I took them down and put just regular, got to get the card out of them, old style cameras.
And those are kind of like the two main kind of cameras. One that has an SD card in it that you got to actually go and get the card out of it to look at it, and then the more modern ones that actually use a cell phone connection to send pictures directly to your phone, right?
Yeah, I mean, the cell phone ones are a great advantage in the fact that you don't have to go physically walk to them. You're not pushing deer to see what's there.
But more technology, more stuff to go wrong.
Yeah, I do wish that I had. There are spots over there I wish I had the cell cameras out right now, but it's not going to happen. So
yeah. And I mean, you said you don't have any giants on camera this year yet, but it's not nothing, right?
Oh no, I mean, there's a bunch, definitely several, some nice bucks.
Yeah,
and some definitely legal bucks. The older I get, the more particular I am. I enjoy hunting. I enjoy the time in the tree stand. There's a lot of years that I shooting a deer is second. As stupid as that sounds.
Yeah, what's your saying? What's your saying?
I'm not going to go and ruin a perfectly good hunting season by shooting a deer.
I like that one.
years in a row, I shot a buck, on the first day of archery season. And it was probably 16, 17, something like that, those years, 15 and 16, 16 and 17, I don't know exactly. And those may have been, and that was before really I had, well, Grant hunted a little bit in that time frame, but it was back when I really was hunting mostly for myself. The kids didn't hunt much yet. And, it sounds great. Oh man, you shot a buck on the first day of archery season. And then the reality sets in of, what am I going to do with my time? Like, now I have an entire 3 months of fall that I had all these plans to go to the cabin to hunt, because we do hunt up there some, and evenings over here or at home here hunting. And now I sort of just all went out the window. Like, and I still do sit then with Mark or Dad or whoever's might want me to tag along, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference between sitting the morning or the evening? Like if you could only hunt one.
If I could only hunt one, I'd always hunt evenings. It's very hard for us to get to our spots without running deer off in the dark.
Uh-huh.
Especially later, like when the corn's up, the mornings aren't as bad, because you can get the stands. The deer don't see you from 200 yards away. The corn hides your movement. Once the crops come off, it's about impossible in the mornings to get into a spot without moving some deer around.
Yeah.
And of course, you don't know in the dark whether you're moving off a buck or a doe. You don't know what it is. A lot of times you might hear them.
Yeah.
Or even catch them running away, but you don't know what they are. So I prefer to hunt evenings.
Do you know why I like hunting evenings?
Because you don't got to get up early?
No, that's not it at all. I love getting up early. I like hunting evenings. Now, maybe not like in the peak of the rut or whatever, but I like hunting evenings because when I hunt in the morning, I feel like you get the very best part of the day over right away.
Well, that's definitely
like
a feeling.
Earlier in the morning
Yeah,
it is,
right,
the
sure.
more deer movement there is. And then the longer you sit there, the less likely it gets that you're going to see a deer. And in the evening, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Like no matter how early you go out, even if you go out early in the afternoon, it's still like the longer I sit here, the better this gets and the more likely it is that I'm going to see something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And especially when you're in a stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I will say that I think that probably all of the biggest buck we've killed over there in archery season, even though that what you're saying is absolutely true in my mind, the nicest deer killed off of that farm was definitely a morning. I think the biggest buck I've ever shot over there in archery season was a morning.
Huh.
And Davy's buck at camp was a morning.
Yeah, I think when the rut really gets going, everything's rearranged, and you're just better off to be in the woods as much as you can possibly be in the woods. It's a whole different thing. But I'd really like hunting the evenings. I feel the same way. Like I like elk hunting in the evenings for the same reason.
Yeah.
I
prefer the mornings because I feel anxious. Like you're getting more excited. Like it's getting better and better, but it makes me anxious because the window of, light for searching for elk and everything goes away.
You know what I don't like about the evenings of elk hunting? Is when you get one and then it gets dark and you're stuck in the dark.
Right, and that too.
Cutting the thing up on the side of a mountain. But that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I'll take that problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still can't believe you didn't shoot that buck last year when you were home for the first couple days of archery season.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I know. That would have really been quite the weekend. Came home, got my first buck in Pennsylvania in who knows how long. Baby Ann would have been born that weekend. It would have really been something. But
yeah, I still can. I just trigger happy Mike, and he left him walk.
You know what? It almost paid off. I thought we were going to get a shot at that big buck on my last night of muzzleloader hunting.
That's true.
Ugh, that one bothers me.
Yeah.
I just told our friend Carl Malcolm that story yesterday.
Yeah.
Man, that was a really nice buck, and I really thought I was going to get a whack at him.
Yeah, that one made it through the season, so hopefully we run into him again this year.
Yeah, I really hope he turns up, and I really hope I can somehow find a weekend to come back there and muzzleloader hunt again this year. It's not currently on our schedule. We got a lot of stuff going on, but boy, I really love that hunting. Yeah, I guess we should mention on our Caldera archery episode. It's our good friend Jeremy Romero, who was on the episode we did about the bull Caitlin got last year. He's kind of helped us get the Caldera figured out, and he got married yesterday. So
yeah, congrats, Jeremy and Shannon.
Yeah, big congrats to Jeremy and Shannon. It was a really super fun wedding. Steve Ranella was there, Matt.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Something you didn't have him on the podcast today.
No, I didn't want Steve on here. I wanted good guests like you and Caitlin.
Oh
no, I did see him, and for anybody that doesn't know, Steve's got like a whole universe of outdoor media stuff that he does through Meat Eater. Really cool, and Steve's a really nice guy. I got a chance to talk to him for a little while yesterday, and we know each other a bit. And I found, when I lived in Montana, I found a bear trap in the mountains on public land. I have it. I'm looking at it right now. It's hanging here. And I walked over to Steve after the ceremony, and he said, I was sitting here thinking, I wonder if Mike's here, and wondering if you were here made me jealous about you finding that bear trap all over again. He is so jealous of this bear trap. I wondered if he even remembered about the bear trap, but that was the first thing he said to me yesterday. So
yeah, he said it and set it off too, right?
Yeah. We took the bear trap. So our friend Carl Malcolm, who's how we met Jeremy, and Carl's been on Meat Eater a bunch. It's also how Jeremy and I met Steve Ranella. Anyway, we went on a hunt. We went on an oryx hunt in June that Steve drew a tag, and we were successful. We got the oryx, but when we came back, there was a night or two where the Meat Eater guys were still in town, and on the hunt we had talked about the bear trap, and Steve was like, bring that bear trap down to Carl's. We were down there. I think we were cutting up meat and had dinner or something that night. And man, Steve was like a kid with a new toy. He was like, I'm setting that thing. I'm like, I don't even think we can get the jaws open. Like, I had never really messed with it. He went crazy, and sure enough, he ended up setting the thing.
Yeah.
And then used like a fence post or something to set it off and snapped it. It's a scary thing.
It's an impressive contraption.
Yeah, man. You would not have wanted to accidentally get your leg caught in a bear trap. That's what I learned out of that.
It wasn't set when you found it, though, right?
No, it was folded up. It had been cached.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it had been hung from the side of a tree, actually, which was something they did.
But the tree fell down.
Yeah, and I think the tree fell down, and the tree was on top of it, and it was all folded up. But yeah, it's the second biggest bear trap that the most famous trap maker in the world at the time ever made.
How old is it?
Probably about 1900. It's an S. Newhouse made in Oneida, New York. And that one's a number 15, which they made one bigger than that. And that one has offset jaws with big gnarly teeth on it. It's really quite a piece of outdoor history. But anyway, so yeah, congratulations to Jeremy and Shannon on getting married, and Even though I think he's crazy, Jeremy says he's going to go hunting with us again this year. So I think the elk hunting crew will be me and you and Jeremy and Hunter. So
Yep, be awesome.
Maybe you should talk to me because I'm not sure that's the smartest way to start off a marriage.
This is the kind of area, Matt, where you feel like you can give marriage advice.
Yes.
Like what not to do.
Well, he's not going tomorrow.
That is a little.
When I saw Jeremy after the wedding, like after the ceremony when they're over there doing the meet and greet stuff, the first thing he said to me was, "Did you bring the boat and did the valet park it?" He's like, "We could go walleye fishing right after this is over, right?" Yeah.
They're an awesome couple, and I think Shannon really wanted a September wedding.
Yeah.
But Jeremy is just an archery elk hunting
Machine.
maniac, and so I feel like I don't know. It's very symbolic of their commitment to making each other happy that they did it. He pretty much did it as late as he could, I would imagine, before elk season.
Right.
So kind of started to catch the very beginnings of fall weather. Outside of elk season.
Well, they got nice weather. It was a really nice event. What were you going to say, Matt?
You did or didn't fish at the ceremony?
I did not fish at the ceremony, but you have, right?
I've caught bass in two different weddings in tuxedos.
And a bowler hat at one, right?
Was that a bowler or a fedora?
No, I think it was a fedora.
Yeah.
Oh.
At that wedding, I caught bass in a pickerel.
I like that it's not just that that you caught fish, what fish you caught.
Yeah, that's right. I can't remember who got married. And then at the other
one... Go on.
By the way, it was his sister.
Oh, yeah, it was my sister. Yes, I do remember.
I know.
And the other wedding was actually Bob Bridges' wedding, and the reception was at some private barn that had a lake, and I don't know. I caught a lot of bass at that one. Too many to remember exact.
Well, there you go. Rules
so
don't.
Did Bob.
Rules don't. We talked about this in the last episode. Rules don't go anywhere where we're not thinking about what the hunting and fishing is like.
Yep.
So, anyway, I don't know, Matt. Unfortunately, Mark wasn't able to join us again. You guys did do a beach trip this year, right?
Yeah, we were down end of July. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. End of July to the Chesapeake Bay. I would say it was a little less exciting than last year, only because the boat worked the whole time.
Well, I mean, mostly, but
well,
I mean, the boat you had worked the whole time.
Yeah, that's right. The boat we had worked the whole time. We did have some trailering issues on the way down.
Oh man. Well, maybe
we could probably bring that up with Mark the next time we see him.
Yeah, maybe that would be a good place to leave this. Would be, we're gonna head off elk hunting. I think next week's episode I'm gonna try to get out is the Hell on Wheels episode, which is all about various bicycle and one motorcycle mishap. We get to hear from Uncle Sim again, which I'm excited to put that one out. There's a pretty good motorcycle story about a motorcycle he owned that our grandpa had an incident with. But then maybe after that we'll try to get together with you and Mark and Rachel if we can get her, and GT, and sit around and talk about the summer trip to Cape Charles that you guys did. And by then, Matt, maybe you should be back from your bass trip in Canada, and then we'll hear from GT about how the Alaska trip was, and then it'll be hopefully time to talk about how Caitlin's elk hunt went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have one logistical question about the elk hunt.
Okay.
How good is the Wi-Fi reception up there?
It's pretty
Poor.
bad.
Because my son that's going with you is supposed to be doing college online this semester. I'm sort of wondering how that's going to happen.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be fine. I meant the service is pretty good. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he'll be able to do his classes from somewhere up there.
You might just have to hike a little higher.
Yeah.
I assume that Hunter's not worried about that and at all. Like, not one little bit of him is worried about that.
I imagine you're
Well,
right.
the first week you don't really have to do that much anyway. Or is it his first week?
No, I think
guess?
it'll be
Started last week.
It'll be the third week.
Oh. Well, at that point, then he'll kind of have the system figured out and know what he has to do. If he's got to run out of the woods.
Got caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing Hunter, he'll be ahead before he goes.
There you go.
Yeah. I've asked him about this too, and he's told me not to worry about it. So.
Huh. Well, we're getting the same response out of him then.
Yeah. Right. Well, he's not worried about it, at least.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't wait to come back and talk about how various fishing trips went, and especially how this elk hunt went. Hopefully, it's a successful one, but I bet you it's going to be eventful one way or the other.
Yep, we'll see.
All right, Matt, you got anything to add?
Nope, don't think so.
All right. Well, as always, thanks to everybody for listening to this. You can find us on Instagram at Outdoor Rules. You can find us on our website, www.outdoorrules.com. And, most of all, we really would love to hear from people. You can send us an email at outdoorrules@gmail.com. If there's something that we've touched on that you'd like to hear more about, you got an episode idea for us, you want to come on the podcast, really, please reach out. And, of course, we also really appreciate it when people share our episodes with their friends and family. So we just really appreciate the heck out of everybody that's listening. So thanks again, Matt, Caitlin, thanks for doing this. I love you guys.
Love you too.
Have a good one.
Hunting and fishing, the great outdoors, mixing history, laughter, love, and folklore, creating memories with family and friends. These are the trophies that matter in the end. Outdoor Rules.